Detroit as well. Game 1 of a Monday night doubleheader. Jared Goff and the Lions hosting Tampa Bay. First quarter, we are scoreless, but not for long. Goff looking for Amon-Ra St. Brown, and they're not going to get him.
Oh, yeah, Amon-Ra in the open field is one of the best yak receivers, but he didn't have to do anything right there.
Yeah.
If he falls down, he scores a touchdown.
Brown puts the Lions up 7-0, and then it's Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh, no.
This guy.
I don't know everything, but I know they're not going to catch him. 78 yards on the touchdown.
Afterburners.
For Jahmyr Gibbs. Look at the selling.
Love it. I'm too old to know what that's in reference to.
Spider-Man, Superman kind of thing.
Dragon Ball Z.
14-0 lead. Meanwhile, Bucs looking to respond. 2nd and 5 at their own 40. And J-Mac, this just a terrible moment here. That's Mike Evans.
You hate to see it. Mike Evans making his comeback, goes down hard on this one. Just not a sight any Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan wants to see.
It's a broken collarbone and a concussion. We'll have more on that as we go, but certainly we won't see him again for a while. Now we go to the third quarter. Bucs in the scoring area. This is Tez Johnson. Oh, and he's going to go up and over.
You know, when Jeff saw that block.
He saw that block.
We overlooked the most important part of the play. Not a shock by you.
14-9. They go for the 2. They don't get it. But what a night this was for Jahmyr Gibbs. Nick, look at the burst.
Give him the ball in space. And there's some people who are fast, and there's some people who also just look fast. Get the ball in his hand, and it looks scary.
He's both. Gibbs would finish with
Circle button.
Gee. 218 scrimmage yards last night. 2 touchdowns. Lions up 21-9. Fourth quarter, Bucs on a 4th and 4. Big moment. Mayfield finding Kate Otten. Looks like we're going to keep the drive alive. Right? Wrong. Dan Campbell has other ideas. He's going to challenge the play. They will rule him down short of the marker. Mayfield can't believe it. Lions kick a field goal, so it's 24-9. Mayfield one last gasp on a 4th down. Broken up. Kelvin Shepard, Lions defensive coordinator, take a bow. What a performance by that defense. Lions go on. They hold the Bucs to 9 points, and they win it 24-9.
How about the defense? Listen, 9 points allowed, 4 of 16 on 3rd down, 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery, 252 yards allowed, man. That's outstanding defense. Listen, we did what we had to do. There's things we got to clean up, but I tell you what, defense, you play like that, you win every game. That's the bottom line. That's outstanding. That's the way to cut it loose, just like we talked about, guys.
All right, great performance. We got a lot to get to today. Let's do it. Jeff, what's the first thing you said to me when I said, what's your number 1 takeaway last night?
Best game they played all season. That is a very good opponent. That is a very good opponent. And they were the most physical team. You saw what their defense did. And then how about this? Explosive plays, which Tampa has lived on all season. They won that battle 8-3. That is a massive, massive win for the Lions. Come off a bad loss. The way they looked at home, they looked nasty.
You could see it right from the beginning, right?
Physicality was the word. Like in the second play of the game, I know Jeff was pointing this out, that D-line just pushed the Tampa offensive line back right
Here's
off
the play.
bat.
Second play of the game.
Second play.
Look at this.
McNeil is back and healthy, and this is Baker. Remember, he's the scramble man. Nah, that's the first place, or first passing play, second in game.
You know what's scary? Like as offensive lineman, if you start hot, you always come on like, all day, all day, all day. When stuff like that happens, you walk up to you, go, God, I hope it ain't all day, boy. That was scary. That is scary. When we're all in the quarterback's lap and he's running for his life play too, we know they came with a different plan in mind.
And let's point out, Dan, that they were playing last night, the Lions were, without anyone in their secondary that you recognize. That's why I said take a bow to their defensive coordinator, Kelvin Shepard, because they were shorthanded last night.
No question about it. They're missing their top 2 cornerbacks and their top 2 safeties. That's the whole secondary. So Kelvin Shepard, the defensive coordinator, he started his coaching career with Dan Campbell in Detroit, so relatively new at this. But Aaron Glenn gets hired to coach the Jets, and they elevate Kelvin Shepard. Talking to people in that organization in the offseason, well, what are you going to do with all the coaching departures? They were confident that Campbell had it figured out, and one of the things I kept hearing was Kelvin Shepard is a great coach and is ready for this. I think last night is the evidence that you need to support that, because they were shorthanded in the secondary, and you would not have known it. Everybody's got injuries. Tampa Bay's got injuries as bad as anybody in the entire league, and they are 5-2 in spite of it, and credit to them. You're watching that game last night, and they're telling you Detroit does not have its starting secondary. You would not have believed them because of the way the backups were playing. That's a testament to coaching.
Yeah, at some point, I think for people at the game or people watching, you're pulling up the roster on your phone, trying to determine who these guys are in the Lions secondary. And what was so impressive is their game plan didn't change. They played man-to-man. They got up in your face. They mixed up the looks. So that just shows the confidence that Kelvin Shepherd had in his guys. And I think going into this season, that was the one thing we all questioned with the Lions. Would they be able to recover from losing both coordinators? And so far this season, we've seen it. I mean, we've watched. Jahmyr Gibbs is still running as he's going down the sideline in that game last night.
They were looking, like you mentioned, they brought in the backup secondary, and they weren't protecting him.
No.
That's what stood out to me. When I rewatched those plays, it was like, oh, no, they're blitzing. They're playing man coverage, and those guys are confident enough to challenge him. I think that does speak to those individual players' confidence, but the coaching and the culture that they have in Detroit.
That's it. It's the Dan Campbell culture there in Detroit. Like, yes, we are banged up. You guys who are generally backups are going to have to play. We expect you to play just as well as starters, and they did. And look, Tampa's got a lot of the same things going on. Todd Bowles has set a great culture there. They're an elite team. They'll be there in the end, especially if they can get healthy. But what we saw from Detroit last night, a team that hasn't lost consecutive games since 2023, there's a lot of pride there and a lot of talent there, and the culture is rock solid.
51 consecutive games since they lost. 51 games since they last time they lost consecutive games. So yesterday, the group that was here with me were a little surprised. Our Football Power Index, when power ranking the NFC, did not have the Lions in the first 4 teams. They were just a smidge behind Tampa at 4, but they had the Rams ahead of them, the Eagles ahead of them, the Packers ahead of them. Where do you have the Lions after watching them play last night?
I have them 1. And I think that's the best team in the NFC. And even banged up, they're going to get healthy on the back end. But they are so explosive offensively. And then to y'all's point on the defense, if you play with a lead, they can pin their ears back. They can pressure you. They make you one-dimensional because you know that you're going to have to score to match up with Gibbs or St. Brown. You just name it, right? Like, you keep going through all these different things. They are a very good football team, in my opinion, and I think that they're only going to keep getting better.
I mean, and Jameson Williams wasn't even really a part of the game.
Right.
He's like their most explosive, potentially receiver in concept, although Jahmyr Gibbs feels like he might be the most explosive player in all of football.
We'll have all morning to talk about this, but let me quickly get the other side. Baker Mayfield was sort of having this dream season and MVP and everything. Now Mike Evans just comes back. Now he goes down. We have we always say bad game, bad sign for the Buccaneers. Do we think this was a bad night or a bad sign?
I think bad night. And it was the worst game Baker's played this year, and he was missing throws, and he was under pressure a lot. Aiden Hutchinson, by the way, a really good player as well for Detroit. But look, I think they had a Mike Evans heavy game plan, and he gets hurt early, and that affected it. Emeka Egbuka's having a great year as a rookie. They have other young receivers that they believe in. The tight end he was able to lean on. They'll get their starting running back, Lucky Irving back. I think Tampa Bay will be fine. But they didn't. That was their worst game last night.
And I think to your point, Nick, you said this earlier in our meeting, their defense played really well in that game, especially early on, keeping them in it. So Tampa Bay definitely going to be there. And they're a team that has proven, though, through the injuries, they're going to be there. Baker's going to play better.
I mean, I think Mayfield threw 50 passes, right? Like the Irving, the loss of Irving will mount, right? And their offensive line's been banged up. So now you couple those two things together and you get into a throw it all around the yard type game. It played into Detroit's wheelhouse, and they played good on the back end. But again, I think to me it all boils down to explosive plays. Tampa, unfortunately, Mayfield was off. He couldn't make them. Detroit did make them. These are two very, very good football teams.
And who else in their division, Tampa's division, do you really believe in is going to challenge them when you write it down at the beginning?
Not the Falcons.
That's what I'm saying.
They really don't. I'm sorry, man.
The Falcons, Carolina, Tampa. I agree. It feels like it was much more of a bad night than it was a bad sign. As we continue while you were sleeping, another game last night, and Seattle slew, giving some satisfaction after the M's last night. We'll have full highlights of the Seahawks and the Texans, plus more from the debacle in Denver. What is the fallout after a giant-sized giveaway leaves an entire city feeling big blue? All that and more. And Jeff Saturday is trying out for a role in Saturday Night Fever.
Oh, joke for the people
who were born in the 50s and 60s.
The final seconds, first quarter, Seattle already up 7-0. And Nick, I give you Jackson Smith in
he might be the best receiver in football. Explosive plays after explosive plays. And even in these short catches, he can make himself open and concentrate in that situation. And he's got high.
That throw was crazy.
Seahawks up 14-6 at the half. Third quarter, same score. C.J. Stroud. J-Mac, he's throwing this ball where exactly?
To a guy that's on the ground. Ernest Jones get up, make the interception. C.J. Stroud was under fire all night long. Couldn't get away.
First pick he's thrown since week 3. Seattle kicks a field goal at 17-6. Now, Jeff, the one thing you can't do is give them an easy score, Sam Darnold.
I'm not sure what Darnold was thinking on this play right here. Like, first of all, don't go in the end zone. Throw it away, do something. Don't try to spin out in your end zone. And then the fumble on top of this, you even deal with a safety. The whole thing was trash.
Will Anderson Jr., the sack, the score. They go for the 2, they don't get it. So it's 17-12, but then it's Jackson Smith and Jigba again.
They run the same play all night.
All night.
At 8 catches, 123 yards. Later in the drive, a very dry Charbonnet takes it in for his second
Greeny.
score.
I liked it.
Greeny.
Thumbs up.
I'm having a rough day.
He's 1 of 4. He's 1 of 4 right now.
Midway through the fourth quarter. Now, here's a strange play. Darnold picked off by A.J. Barner. Jackson Smith and Jigba's coming in to try and make the tackle. His helmet's going to come off. We got pushing and shoving. The MVP of the night is the ref. You're going to see him get in there and save this man. Look at this play.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a clean stiff arm. It's just a little extra action.
No, that's all fine. But now they're coming after him. He's got no helmet on. Look at the official.
Get in there. Back up. I got my guy.
The ref is on his fantasy team.
That is Nate Jones, former DB from Rutgers, played in the league as well.
How about him getting in there? This is a Texans 4th down, sort of a last gasp effort there. Stroud doesn't have it on the night. Sam Darnold didn't have one of his best nights, but the Seahawks get the win nonetheless. They needed that win just to keep pace with the Rams and 49ers in what is, without question, the best division in football. Look at that. The only one where there were 3 teams, 3 games over 500. Those top 3 teams bunched up in the, as you see, to win the division at ESPN Bet. So let's start with that. We started big picture.
Is that was that 10,000?
I didn't know how many zeros that was on the Cardinals. So many zeros.
I didn't really. Don't boost that.
I didn't look closely at it. I might have been boosted already. We started big picture on the first game. Let's start big picture on this one as well. You see those 3 big teams there. Niners, Seahawks, Rams. I got people telling me yesterday the Rams are the best team in the whole NFC.
Yeah.
Who's the best team in this division? J-Mac.
I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks. That was a team I picked in the beginning of the season to win the division, and nothing has told me anything different. The way they play on the defensive side of the ball, and Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba, that connection between those 2 players every single week, it's an explosive play, and it's Jackson Smith and Jigba ending up in the end zone.
I mean, I think I agree with you. However, the Rams won 35-7 over the weekend against the Jaguars, who are not a bad team.
Right.
And we know that Matt Stafford and those receivers, even without Puka, we know they can score with anybody. And that defensive front that they have in L.A. is just as scary as Leonard Williams and them boys in Seattle. So I don't know. The Rams are going to give them a run.
I'm still leaning Seattle here. I like what they do. I think they're a physical team, especially defensively. They get after you. They pressure you. Sam Darnold is playing extremely good football. I know last night wasn't his best, but he still made some throws that make you go, wow. Like he made some things. And then with JSN, he's a difference maker.
We haven't even mentioned the 49ers. No one has mentioned the 49ers, who just find a way to keep winning with everybody hurt and McCaffrey having an MVP kind of season. Danny.
And absolute credit to the 49ers for doing what they're doing. But you look over there's a lot of season left.
Yeah.
And Nick Bosa and Fred Warner are not coming back.
Right.
And I just think eventually that catches up to the Niners, especially in a division like this, where you have 2 other extremely good teams. And by the way, the Cardinals are no fun to play. All their losses are by 4 points or less. So I think eventually that catches up with the 49ers. I still like the Rams to win it, because I just feel like, Seattle has everything you want except proof of concept. We haven't seen them win the division. We've seen Sean McVay's Rams win it. We've seen Kyle Shanahan's 49ers win it. But Seattle capable, there's no question about it.
Can we put up B9 really quickly, Cindy? Because there's another thought that I think a lot of people probably have as they watch Daniel Jones dominating the league and playing as well as he did on Sunday, and then Sam Darnold last night. The Vikings made the decision to walk away from, or let Sam Darnold walk away from them. So far this year, he has 12 touchdowns, 4 picks. His QBR is 6th best in the league. The Vikings' collective QBs with a QBR of 37. That would be 29th in the NFL. And a reminder, it wasn't just Darnold, but Daniel Jones that got away as well. And so we sit here on this morning, and I get it that they haven't had J.J. McCarthy yet, but I don't know exactly what that even means. Go ahead, Dan.
It's part of the problem, right? I mean, J.J. McCarthy was coming off an injury, and we hadn't seen him play, so now he's played 2 games, didn't play particularly well in either of them, and hasn't played since week 2. So, it's at this point, if you trusted Kevin O'Connell to get this decision right, then you can still do that, and there's 11 games left for them to show you he was right. But based on the way the season's gone so far, it's worth questioning whether they made the right decision when they let Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones leave, told Aaron Rodgers no thanks, and said we're going with the
Yeah, I mean, I think like in a vacuum that would make that plays out. But Sam Darnold didn't play well at the end of last season, right? Like part of the reason why they moved on is because in the final week against the Lions he struggles, and I think he had less than or right about 150 yards.
Yes,
no
and the
touchdowns.
playoff game.
And the playoff game,
Real bad.
He gets sacks 9 times. So I think they decided to move on because of their potential at the end of seasons. And so I would just say this. If I'm going to err, I'm going to err on the side of KOC. So if he thought J.J. McCarthy is their guy, unfortunately, you can't control injuries in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's been banged up. If he gets back, but I would not have sold my franchise to bring Aaron Rodgers in, or even Daniel Jones for that matter, if you got to pay those guys as opposed to building from within with KOC.
I mean, I assume you wouldn't have to have paid Daniel Jones as much as you would have for Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
But either way, like I agree with you in your defense of KOC. However, you can't argue it right now. Like it's kind of inarguable. You look at the two quarterbacks that were just there, what they're doing in different places, and what you have quarterback. Like right now, they made the wrong decision, but they made a decision that's for long term and maybe a higher ceiling. So
Right.
by the end of the year, by next year, by the year after that, that's when you measure the decision.
But you got to get that kid on the field, though.
Yeah.
Like if he doesn't play, he's not going to get better.
And I think also when you look at the circumstance for Daniel Jones, it made more sense for him to go to Indianapolis. It was a better opportunity to earn a starting job.
Right.
And for Sam Darnold, to your point, the price tag was so high that you do bet on the future and hope that J.J. McCarthy can stay healthy and go out there and play good football.
I'm not saying it's the likeliest scenario, but we could be living in a world where Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold meet in the Super Bowl.
Let's go.
That'd be a pretty
Let's go.
That'd be a pretty tough day for Minnesota, I would think. As we continue, is Dak Prescott the best